Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and you've arrived at day 12 of the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2020. Thank you so much for being with me today. Our pattern is going to be Irradial by friend and CZT Tomas Padros. And we are going to explore this. This is a very similar pattern to what we did yesterday with Sena. And so, but there are several ways of approaching Irradial. Similar to Sena, it starts with a line, okay? And on this line, you're going to put a dot on one side and a dot a little bit further away on the other side, something like this. And you're going to use those dots as center points from which you are going to draw a radius or radial of rays or lines, such as this. Yeah? And then you're going to turn it over, and on the other side, you're going to do the same thing. Now you can see how similar this is, and forgive this, I'm drawing upside down here. But you can see now that this is a very similar thing to what we did yesterday. So what can you do with this? Well, you can do whatever you want. This is the exact same situation as with Sena. And if you want to put this in grid, I'm going to do, you know me and my grids, guys. Go easy on me. And you can put one in each circle, or each circle. I'm rolling today. Yeah? You start with your little dots, and then you go to town. Like that. And then on here, you're going to do the exact same thing. And by starting these in different spots, now, you can divide these with ink, but I was curious what would happen if you came in here and did this line and then matched it up like this. It occurred to me to be curious about that. I feel certain that Tomas has included this thought in his art. If you are not a follower of Tomas, you should follow him on Instagram. He is Tomas Padros. I think it's TOMAS_PADROS. And he is definitely worth following. He publishes his patterns to his Instagram account when he comes out with them before he publishes them to Tangle Patterns, if they are published. And he has many on his Instagram account that are not on Tangle Patterns, and you should go check them out because they're all very cool. Okay, so this is another option, and of course you could draw a line. You could make your grid in ink and have a line here, but it opens up different possibilities. And if you want to, you can change the direction of your initial line. don't know how that would work. Whoops. But you guys sort of get where I'm coming from. That's interesting. Anyway, there's lots of things you can play with on this. Now, the thing that I want to play with, and by the time I get done with this poor pattern, it's going to be Sana, because you know how I am with the curves. But I saw some examples on Tangle Pattern where he had striped these, blacking every other one, and curved them, and he got some really cool effects. And that's one of the things that I want to try. I wanted to try this in a string area. I don't know if I have room here. Let's try over here. In a more rounded setting. And actually, I'm curious. This is the joy of tangling, I think. If you're curious, try it. See what happens. So I wonder what would happen if we had a slightly curved line and used this technique. And you can pack these little lines as densely or as loosely as you like. And there's no reason why these couldn't curve. And then it very much is like Sana, only you have a predefined start and stop point. See, just like that. And then just keep going with this until we got this line, and then do this the other direction. And I'm going to purposefully draw my lines with the curve this time, and in an opposite direction of what was coming before. And we're going to have that same situation like we had in our Sana tile yesterday. Where we've got one side tucked under, which is cool. And then you've got an interesting end here where you get to figure out what you're going to do. You can let these each come to their own conclusions, I suppose. And then you do have something that's very Sana-like. So I like this pattern, even though I have done a fairly sloppy examples here. But I really want to do what he did on one of his examples, which was he did his normal setup, but then when he did his radial lines, he put some serious curving in them. Such as this. And then when he changed directions, he had something completely different. And he had them overlapping, and then he was striping. Every other one. And you could even stripe with sparkles here. If you're going to do that, put your sparkle at the apex of a curve, like either here or here. Doesn't matter which way, but then once you choose that, be sure and be consistent with it. Or not. Anyway, so he was blacking every other every other radius or ray, or however you want to describe these. I'm sure Tomas has a very technical term for it. He is just the greatest guy. I hope you guys get to know him and his patterns. They are fabulous. He teaches technical drawing in Barcelona, Spain, and he is just amazingly smart. And he has a real gift for these patterns. So anyway, you see the difference between a sparkle and a not sparkle, but he's got his radii. Ooh, I don't know where that came from, but he's got those happening all over the place. And I really like this pattern simply because you can do absolutely anything with it that you want and be successful. So let's do our tile. So on my tile, I'm going to start with our 4 dots as per usual. See if I can get them sort of lined up. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Then I'm going to very wonky make a crazy border here. And let's see. And do that. And then I think I am going to choose for myself the version of Irradial that is striped and sort of curvy and flamboyant, because I can, and it's my tile and I can do what I want. If you guys want to play with Irradial in the grid form, it's lots of fun. I'm sorry my examples aren't very good. You know that I do better with the curved lines, and these are a mess. But you should look at Tomas's examples, and if you are one of those people that live for grid patterns, this will work in a grid for sure and be very relaxing. No matter what form you do this in, you're going to be able to relax with it. So I'm going to get started, and you guys can follow along.
I've been deeper, but I have to stay afloat. It's not easy. Be a person you don't want. Can somebody take me other thing? Going to do. Where's the life I? Where's my childhood? Is this called living? I don't know. Where's the life I? Where's my childhood? Is this called living? I don't know. I don't wanna grow. Just live myself. I don't wanna grow. The things I left behind me.
All right, you guys see where I am going with this. This is going to be my wonderful irradial tile. I really love how this turned out. It's really not the way it looks in the way you normally see this pattern, but I love the way this turned out, and I will probably be doing this a whole lot more in the future. Thank you guys for being with me today, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for our day 13 of the 100 Days of Zentangle. Be safe and be well, and I'll see you then.